I like working Friday night delivery. It's busy, and sometimes the customers give big tips. And sometimes there's an unclaimed pizza or two to snack on. It looks like I might have one right now. I'm Adam Jessup, age 21, and I'm a theater major. Currently, I'm taking summer semester off to earn money for fall semester. Tuition and rent and gas for my 5-year-old blue Ford Fiesta add up fast. I'm a full-time pizza delivery driver, and proud of it. I double-checked the address on the printed receipt. 255 Arrowroot Drive. I double-checked the address on my phone. 255 Arrowroot Drive. According to the Maps app and the receipt, I was at the right place. The problem? There were newly paved streets, but no houses and no people. Where were the people who ordered the large double pepperoni, not to mention the double order of breadsticks and 4 containers of dipping sauce and a large Coca-Cola? This was a vacant lot among vacant lots. I was on the edge of a new subdivision in Henderson, Las Vegas. Were we pranked? I triple-checked the receipt. I had even hurried. 30 minutes or it's half off. I made it in 26 minutes. Considering the traffic I had to deal with, I might have broken the speed limit a couple of times. Good thing the cops didn't see me. I called my work, Home Fire Pizza. Wilma Jean, the manager, must be manning the phones because she answered. Home Fire Pizza, where we deliver in 30 minutes or it's half off and you get a coupon for free breadsticks on your next order. What would you like on your pizza? Wilma Jean, it's Adam. Nobody's here. Were we stiffed? I said. Her keyboard clacked as her fingers pulled up the order. Nope. He paid by card. Even left a tip. Greg Lords. Do you want me to call him? A nearly silent car pulled up beside me. A black Tesla Model X. This guy has style. No, I think Greg Lords has just arrived, I said. I shouldn't be staring, but good Lord, hallelujah, I was staring. This guy was hot, with a capital H-O-T. A sharp-looking man stepped out of the Tesla, styled short brown hair, high chiseled cheekbones, a smile that revealed a dimple on his left cheek. Wearing a tailored light blue shirt, he wore black business slacks, but left the jacket in the car. He pulled his tie over his head, snagging it on his ears, and casually undid the top 2 buttons on his shirt, revealing a black wife-beater. Oh my God, I hope he's on a magazine cover, because I'd buy that magazine. I stepped out of my car. Hi, he said. You the pizza guy? I'm Greg Lords. I pulled his order out of the heated bag. Large double pepperoni in 26 minutes. We aim to please. I'm Adam. What gives? This place is empty. He walked over to me, lifted the lid on the pizza box, and inhaled the best aroma on earth. His broad smile showed that he was another satisfied customer. His broad shoulders and narrow waist teased me in all the embarrassing places. Greg took the Coca-Cola from me and melted my heart with his smile. Long story short, he said, I am sick of apartment living. I finalized the contract today. I own the property, and I'm building a house, and I'm celebrating. With pizza and breadsticks? I asked. I don't drink, so this is the next best thing. Since my friends are running late, share a slice with me, he said, setting the pizza box on the ground. What the hey, I said, and took a slice. Greg took a slice. We toasted his new place with pizza. Then it was back to Home Fire for the next order. The next Friday, we got a call. Generally, we have 4 drivers, and we've divided the area into 4 zones. John, Ringo, Paul, and George. I know they're the 4 Beatles, but Wilma Jean was the one who came up with the names. Biggest rule in staying employed? Try not to argue with your boss. Greg lives in Ringo District, the area south of Home Fire Pizza, and my zone. The order was for a large double pepperoni with 2 orders of breadsticks and dipping sauce for 255 Arrowroot Drive, paid by Greg Lords. I had to smile. Did he know I was on his route? Was it another celebration? Since I knew the way, I got there in 24 minutes. Greg had just gotten out of his car and was surveying his lot. It wasn't vacant anymore. A couple of tractors had dug the foundation. Several concrete forms were in place, but many more were not. No concrete yet. Somebody had dug a trench from the electrical box by the street, but had not laid cables. The house was going up fast. I smiled as I got out of the car, carefully bringing the heated pizza bag. "Hey, Greg, can I interest you in a large double pepperoni with breadsticks and dipping sauce?" He turned. A pleasant look crossed his face. "Adam, I wasn't expecting you, but I'm glad you're here. What do you think so far?" I chuckled. "It's a palace, but I think it needs a door, and a window, and a few walls." "I guess it's too soon to move in the couch," Greg chuckled, and opened the heated box, and once again we toasted each other with pizza. Every Friday night, I delivered the pizza. Over the course of the next few months, Greg's house rose. Every Friday night, we toasted the progress with pizza. One night, we were sitting on the steps leading up to the framed house. We got to talking. "This place is spacious. Your wife is going to love this," I said. Greg looked at me. A vulnerable expression crossed his eyes. "I designed the original for me and my boyfriend. I thought we'd be together forever." "You're an architect?" I asked. "I work at Provincial Architects. I've been there since I graduated," he said. "What happened with you and your ex?" I asked. Greg stared at the Tesla, but I don't think he was seeing it. He took a breath and finally said, "Marco was very alpha macho, and I didn't need that in my life. I dumped him, which didn't seem to be a problem, because he found someone almost immediately. I guess I loved him more than he loved me." "I'm sorry things didn't work out," I said. With a simple smile, Greg said, "With him gone, I redesigned the house. I think it turned out better." I handed Greg a breadstick and took one myself. "To a redesigned life," I said. "I'll toast to that," Greg said, and we dipped our breadsticks into one of the sauces. Over the next 2 months, the house took shape. 2-story, 9-foot ceilings on the main floor, vaulted ceilings on the upper floor, with a sloped roof covered in terracotta tile. It had beige stucco walls and lots of large windows to let the sun in. The painters had just started the interior work, painting the focal living room wall a light coffee, with cappuccino cream walls on the rest. One night, the order came in a little late. I hurried over and met his friends, a fun-loving mix of students, a young entrepreneur, and the owner of a coffee bar. Of all of them, Greg was definitely the most well-off. The one thing that kept them together was karaoke. They tried all the karaoke bars in the area. "You free Saturday night?" Greg asked. "I am. Have anything in mind?" I replied. "Come sing with us," he said. "Are you asking me on a date?" I asked. He smiled and shrugged. "Would that be so bad? I'll buy dinner." I smiled and shrugged back. "Saturday night. Meet you there at 7. I can't believe how much fun I had that night, and when we were done, we took our food to go and camped out in his unfinished house, talking until 2 in the morning. As I was about to leave, he kissed me. Or did I kiss him? Or did we kiss each other? The next time I delivered, I got the order and arrived at 7:30, pretty much like normal. The house had power, the lights were on, and the air conditioner was humming on the side. Not only was Greg's Tesla there, Another car was there as well. A brand new silver Dodge Challenger Hellcat with customized racing stripes, a moonroof, and a huge spoiler in back. The license plate said Marco 1. One glance inside showed the customized stereo. Assuming Marco was the same age as me, Greg, and his friends, how could he afford this? Marco must be overcompensating and using Daddy's money to do it. I pulled my car next to Marco's. Most guys would feel intimidated, but alpha macho jerks make me laugh. Angry voices came from inside the house. Greg's was one of them. I hope he wasn't in trouble. I crept forward, carrying the heated pizza box, and looked inside. Some bodybuilder guy that must have been twice my size stood before Greg, yelling. I would bet a slice of pepperoni that was Marco. Marco yelled, "You have to get back together with me. I won't take no." Greg briefly rolled his eyes and softly said, "Marco, get it through your thick head that I'm done with you. The answer will always be no. I'd like you to leave now." The bodybuilder guy actually flexed an arm. "It doesn't matter what you say. I'm going to live here, and we will be boyfriends again. What would it take? Flowers, chocolates? I know you don't drink, which is pretty silly, but I want you to be with me. We were meant for each other." "Didn't you find another boyfriend?" Greg asked. "Can you imagine he called me shallow and broke up with me? Who would break up with this?" And Marco flexed his gigantic, muscled chest. "I don't want to be around you anymore. Just leave," Greg said. "Admit it. You still love me. You still dream about me. I'm the love of your life," Marco said. Greg obviously rolled his eyes. Had Marco been drinking? He definitely couldn't read the room, and there was only 2 people in it. Greg needed some help. And it's me, the pizza guy, to the rescue. I set the heated bag down, pulled out the pizza and breadsticks, and banged on the door with my elbow. "Babe, can you get the door? My hands are full. Sorry I'm late, but home fire had a line. Next time, let's do delivery." "Coming at him," Greg yelled. A second later, he held the door open for me. I set the pizza and breadsticks on the floor and then lightly kissed Greg. "Thanks, hun. Did the high schools or college have a game tonight? There was a lot of people at home fire." "Not that I heard," Greg said. I winked at Greg, making sure Marco couldn't see me. "I love this room. I wasn't sure about the colors you chose, but the place looks great. Grab a slice. We should eat while the pizza is still warm." "Who are you?" Marco said. I pretended I didn't know who Marco was, and I said, "Greg's boyfriend, of course. You must be one of Greg's friends. He has a lot of them. Do you sing?" "Boyfriend," Marco said. "Yeah, boyfriend. You should hear all the things Greg said about his previous boyfriend, some guy named Marco. It was like the guy thought he was God's gift to magazine covers, always lifting weights, thinking he was better than everybody, acting like he was everybody's ideal man. I guess Marco thought about himself so much that he didn't realize how he had ignored a man as special as Greg. Oh well, Marco's loss." "What do you mean?" Marco said. Marco never treated Greg how he should have been treated. Never took the time to make Greg feel special. Never bought him flowers. Didn't like karaoke. Marco had a real stuck-up macho attitude that got old fast, and because of that, he lost someone amazing. Greg and I hit it off almost by accident the moment we met, and I thank God for every minute we're together. You know, I've seen this house grow from an idea to reality. I was here the week they dug the foundation, when they raised the walls, when they poured the driveway. Maybe I can't offer much except a listening ear and quiet conversation, and the chance to show I appreciate being with this incredible man. But I love Greg. He's brilliant and artistic and funny and sensitive and caring, and he's not a bad singer. I want to make Greg happy every single day of his life. Marco doesn't realize how badly he screwed up by having to act so macho all the time. I'm sorry, I'm getting sentimental because I love Greg with all my heart. Oh, I haven't introduced myself. I'm Adam, and I'm proud of my boyfriend. And you are? Marco stood there a moment, a weird, sad smile on his face. Greg, you moved on? Greg nodded and faced me. Tears misted in his eyes. His voice choked when he whispered to me, Did you mean what you said? Every word, I said. Even though Marco was watching, we kissed like no one was watching. I might have been a little bit late getting back to work, but it wasn't my fault. Good Lord, hallelujah, Greg could kiss. The end. I'm Gio. Thank you for joining me, my friends. And we'll see you next week. Peace.